Boom. We do it live. Recording up.
We live.
We are live. I think we're live. Are we live? We're live. 6 seconds in. And
Uh,
already people are
16th
swooning
annual,
for our awesome content.
right?
What?
16th annual, right?
Oh, fuck. We forgot to do that. Shit. Did we do that last time? I don't know. It's
We
the.
did do it last time.
See, my memory is fucking terrible. It's the very annual. Um,
Annual, third.
eighth. Has to be eighth annual for Star Wars.
All right.
It's the eighth annual. Star Wars extravaganza. Which honestly, this isn't going to be extravaganza. This might be done in 15 minutes. Honestly, like I hate to spoil
Uh,
it, but maybe you can look at the timestamps down there. If there's like the video's already fucking 15 minutes, you know what you're getting into. Because holy, this movie is uneventful. Um,
yeah, to say the least.
it's not
My least
bad,
favorite.
but
It's not bad. Like it's hard to pick something out that's bad.
right.
I take it back. I think
The
what's
Ewoks
that?
are bad.
I'm actually fine with the Ewoks.
I'm sorry, I had to
I
say it.
think the, I think that race that they had, the chase in the woods was rather boring. I was falling asleep. Uh,
You know what's fucked up? I was actually falling asleep watching this movie too. I was like, dude, no, I can't. What?
whew. You know what? I might take it back about time. No, because there's some good stuff in this movie.
Oh yeah, dude. We gotta dive into some of that because there is gems in here. The biggest being the very first 20 minutes. I think it's 20 minutes. The whole Jabba rescuing Han arc, we're gonna call it.
Yeah.
That shit was fucking great. That was pretty much like what I would expect.
Did you watch on Disney Plus or did you watch like an older version?
Plus,
Okay. There's
so
a added scene. Well, there's a few added scenes, but there's one that really bothers me, and it's the one with the CGI two aliens singing.
I thought that was weird. I didn't. I was like, what is this? This is kind of weird. And she did like this weird 3D thing where she sings into the screen. I was like,
Yeah,
was
that one's that's added. That was added in like the whenever they finished the prequels
I see. It wasn't
during like the,
egregious. Like I wasn't like, God, turn this shit off. But I think if it did without it, it would have been okay.
yeah.
It just felt out of place. I like the idea, right? We want to really, jive up how much fun they're having. These guys are like partying and shit. Like we want to emphasize that to make the scene more impactful. Like that's cool.
Mhm.
But the way it went about was definitely a little weird.
Mhm.
But yeah, no. Overall, and the movie just kind of starts. That's one thing I remember anyway. I don't know how the intro was, but I just remember like, here we are. They're going to
Yeah,
save Han.
it literally just starts with the droids already going to Jabba's palace.
Right.
Uh,
Which I mean, dude. Speaking of that, shit was so funny.
I need.
Fucking three. I better knock, I suppose. Bink, bink. Oh, guess no one's here. We better leave.
Gifts. He didn't. He wasn't even in on the plan. Like,
Oh my god, he lightly tapped that shit. Said, "Oh, guess we better leave."
3PO
Stupid
wasn't even
fucker.
in on the plan. He didn't know anything. When R2 was like gifts, and they're like, he's like gifts. What do you mean gifts?
Right. I mean gifts.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my god, that shit is too good. The droids
Uh,
again, my favorite duo.
yeah.
But not, dude.
Um,
Dude, did you see how fucking like Luke legit force choked those guards when he came
yeah.
in? Like, he did it so nonchalantly. I think I definitely feel like maybe that's where they were going. Like, holy shit, he has bad guy tendencies.
That's also why he's wearing all black in that movie.
Right. And not just that, I got some serious Anakin vibes. When
Yeah.
he's sitting there talking to him, he said, "Do it or be destroyed. I warn you not to underestimate my power." I said, "Ooh." Like they really were setting up for this like spicy Luke,
Mm-hmm.
and it just never paid off. I think I would have loved if we got a whole mini arc of like
Well, I think it was
temptation
just
Luke.
to be like, oh no, look, Luke is on the dark side, or he's falling to the dark side. You should have listened to Yoda last movie, but no, that's the whole point. It's like, oh, he didn't. He's succumbing a little, but not all the way. He's like he's dabbling in there, but he's not falling all the way down.
Right.
Uh,
But he took such a 180 though. It was like he starts like that, they rescue Han, that's gone.
yeah.
I didn't like that. I think if we would have just substitute the Ewoks for like more of his development and like more
But
of
cute, adorable teddies.
look, I'm sorry. I really, you know what's funny? In the notes, I have. Let me see. What do we have here? The little Ewok is adorable. The very next note. The problem I have with this whole Ewok quest is that it doesn't really matter.
The Ewoks are the reason they beat the Empire. The
No, the
Ewoks
fuck
are
they are
a
not.
representative. They're representative of the people that they're trying to rebel for.
No. If that's what they were going for, that shit was lost.
But they're also making cute little cuddly, adorable teddies that they can mass produce and sell.
Maybe. I'll give you that one is plausible. And I don't think it was bad. I just think that it wasn't good enough for Star Wars. And that's not maybe fair to Star Wars, I guess.
But he was gonna attack Leia. He said, "You outsider, man, what is this? Food? Mm-hmm.
No. It was terrible because like it just ruined. It undercut all of the tension of their entire invasion. It was like we have to do this now. The platoon landed. We're moving in. We're doing all this shit, and then they just go have a fucking party overnight. Like yeah, we're chilling, having a party. It's no big deal. Like what the fuck happened to the rest of the platoon?
They're winning over the goodwill of the people, the native people of this island or not island. Oops, that's One Piece. Planet.
But you already established the tension of we need to move now.
Yes.
And then you just undercut the fuck out of that on a random side quest. And not only that, they didn't help. Yeah, it looked like they helped, but I don't give a fuck. Little twigs and rocks are not stopping the Empire, except for that big-ass log. That shit was cool, the double logs.
Hey, they took over one of the walkers.
That was cool, too. Chewie helped. I don't think they would have been able to drive it. But
probably not.
That shit was cool. Yeah, the double log bit was cool. The when he took the speeder and flew the fuck, that shit was funny. He said, "We have a problem, sir." It's like, no, he's gonna get us caught, and he just hops on, whoa, and just fucking takes off and like distract them. I was like, that was a good one. So I mean,
about the part where the Ewok died? Did you like that part?
Huh?
Did you like the part where the Ewok died?
Dude, shut the fuck up, That's actually in my notes. I said, bro, the little Ewok died with a crying emoji. I said, what the fuck? I thought he was gonna get up because the guy's like patting him. He's like, hey man. And he just never got up. I was like, dude, what the fuck? That got dark really quick. I was not ready for that scene. I don't know who greenlit that scene, but what the fuck?
It was me. I went back in time and said, George, leave that in.
That shit was mad dark. But what do you call it? Yeah, just the Ewoks definitely. They're not bad, not necessarily, but it's hard to just.
Yeah.
I can't root for them when they're fighting. I mean, it's adorable and fun, but this is the climactic finish to like a trilogy. I expect it more like 3, where it's like shit's building and tension's building and forces are building and we expect a battle. And then we got like Cuddlies throwing sticks at them and the bad guys going, ah, and falling over.
Maybe if they had a little bit of tech and it was, I don't know, because he was also going for this kind of like, they're defending their homeland even though they don't have technology. They can defend it. It's not believable. I'm sorry.
No, it didn't work at all.
Yeah.
Like, and that's the issue. I would have liked it better. Maybe it's like you were saying, they had a little bit of tech. Yeah. Or maybe it was similar to, fuck, let me think of something. I think it exists in the lore in 1, 2, and 3. Like let's say like Tatooine, right? They're just some shitty poor rebels and they have junk.
Yeah. Yeah.
But at least they have junk. And they can turn that junk. It's still blasters, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But also, it came out of nowhere. They weren't enslaved. They had nice huts and were living a peaceful life.
Yeah.
So like them fighting against the Empire also didn't make sense to a degree.
Yeah, they're just like, oh, we were friends with these guys. These guys hate the Empire. We'll help them.
Right. Dude, 3PO being a god was hilarious. He said, tell them if they don't do what you say, you'll use your magic. And they just fucking ignored him. I was like, I don't care, we're hungry. Oh, and then when he starts floating, they freak the. Oh shit, he's serious. He's gonna kill us all. Hurry, let him go. Oh my god. And that's why it's hard not to like it, right? The Ewok stuff is good, but it's not appropriate. I think that's maybe
third
that's the
movie
word.
Finale of a trilogy.
Right. It's like it would have been better in maybe the second. Like if you would have put all the stuff with Lando in the third and this and then this in the second. Ooh, baby. I think that would have fit much better. Because I was shitting my pants with tension when at the end of fucking Sky City or
Yeah,
Cloud City. So like that shit was really fucking good. Whereas this one kind of lost a little bit.
it was like a
Um,
victory lap all the way through. Uh,
Let me think. There was something else. It was about the story. Luke, and this is something that's weird. It's the problem with movies, and this is why movies are so hard to pin down, I think, or get right. Because it's easy enough for me to say I noticed this, but how do you not notice it before? Or you know what I mean? How do you notice something in production and understand how it's going to turn out? Was like Luke and Vader's whole thing throughout the movie was really good for like them building character and stuff like that, but it was really boring. And a lot of
uh,
it just felt like I don't know, not wrong, but it's a movie. So if I spend 10 minutes and nothing has happened except Luke and him have talked a couple times, it's hard for me to like be engaged. But then if you put
yeah.
just action, 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 people are going to be like, this movie sucks. It's just random action shit. Where do we get Luke's development with Vader? You know, you just kind of cut to the end. So I don't know how to fix this, right? That's a tough one. How I could say they could make that better. Um, I think it's also because they just kind of I don't know. Maybe it's because I've seen it before. It's been a very long time, but I did see it before, and you kind of know Vader's probably going to be good by the end.
Hmm.
But they just I don't know. It seemed too natural. Luke's just like, "Hey, here I am," and he just talks to Vader. He's like, "Yeah, you're a good guy. You couldn't kill me before, and you can't do it now." And he just looks at him, and he was like, "Look, you can leave the Emperor. I can't." And they had like this weird dramatic moment, and I was
Yeah,
like, "So he is a good guy," and you can tell clearly by that voice line that he's you know, he thinks he's too weak or something. He can't betray the Emperor, but he's still a good guy. It was almost obvious from that line.
yeah.
But then they built more tension later on. It was like, no, see, he's bad. He'll destroy you. I'm like, what? I don't know. Maybe that's what it was. Some of the pacing or some of like the
Those two back and forth. Uh,
yeah, yeah. Maybe if it was like just a build steadily, and
mhm.
Luke was like, cause you never got this feeling like Luke's reaching out to him, and he's like, fuck you, and like kicked him in the chest, you know, or some shit like that.
Yeah,
Um, it would have been I think a little better. But this is also like a you know in the fucking what 70s because they were I don't know if they were filming. It came
80s.
in 83, late 70s. I don't
They
know like
filmed
if
in.
that was
They
allowed.
only filmed the year before. So
Oh, okay, so in early 80s. So I don't know if
yeah,
like dark ass shit was like the standard.
yeah, yeah. Those some dark ass movies that came out in the 80s.
Oh,
I was say I think Clockwork Orange came out in 78.
right.
No, before that, right? Hold on, it's fine.
Maybe it's
But
because it was a kids movie, air quotes.
maybe
Because I know it's gonna be
what
popular
that
with
might have
the
been the divide between George Lucas and the guy that was helping him in the first two was that guy didn't really want to make a kids movie, and George Lucas was like, no, it's for the kids. So
right.
maybe. Um,
Because it was very adult one and two, and this one felt like a definitely a shift in direction.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
even the drama,
71 was when Clockwork Orange came out, and that is a very divisive film.
right.
Very dark.
So maybe that was it.
There's an implied rape scene, and then there's a definitely explicit rape scene in that movie, and that came out in 71. Oops, I can't say that word. Grape. I meant to say grape scene.
Grape scene. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, they
They were
had
making
grapes.
wine.
Yeah. Um, well, Shining came out in 1980 too, so that
Right.
was
So maybe
before.
it was just a development choice behind the scenes.
Yeah, it was. Oh, this is a kids movie.
Right.
This
And
is
we have to maybe make them maybe they wanted Vader to be like we root for him because he has been a
yeah,
piece of shit in the last two movies.
yeah.
So maybe they didn't know how in this short time span they make him transition from like bad to good,
Hmm.
or at least showing some
They
signs of
had to
that.
try to make you believe that he can turn throughout this movie, so
Right.
yeah. But he's also trying to get Luke onto his side, so he's not trying to be a complete dickhead to him.
Right.
Um,
That does make sense. He's trying to be a little tactful.
yeah.
Because if he's just too mean to him, he's not gonna join at all. You know.
Didn't he say at the end of five, "Join me, and we could overthrow the Emperor and rule the galaxy as father
He
and
did
son"?
say that.
So like, yeah, so it feels really like n- non-continuity. I don't know, I can't think of the word, but like not.
Retcon.
Yeah, it seems retcon that he's like, oh no, I can't betray the Emperor. Bro, you told him last week
Well,
that hey,
but
we'll
the Emperor
overthrow.
was close. Maybe he would have
Yeah,
heard it.
maybe.
Because the Emperor, we don't know where he was before, but he was on the
Yeah.
station with them at that point.
So he was ready to kill the Emperor even then. Shit, he was ready to kill the Emperor in three. he told Padme, we can overthrow the Emperor. We can rule the
That is
galaxy. We can make it
true.
however we want. So yeah,
He
uh,
has always been down to do that.
for the ones he loves.
You know, that makes sense. That makes him. Wow, that was a good line. Fuck. That makes me care about him so much more because it's true. He would do it for Padme. He would do it for Luke, but he wouldn't do it for himself or anybody else.
Exactly.
That's cool, man. That's deep as fuck.
The only thing Vader cared about was family.
I mean, kinda. He never had it,
Yeah.
right? Lost his mom. Like, it's
Yeah.
just a sad boy who wants to have a family.
Yeah.
Shit.
And
What else?
that's like the most relatable evil is like doing bad shit for your family. So
Right. I'm trying to think if I had something else here on their relationship or anything, because it definitely wasn't like wasn't bad by any means. Oh, their last fight, it was really well done.
right?
He just let not just the fight, but he just let him shock him for so long, like,
Yeah.
and then you just see because it goes back to his face and like he's just staring straight at him, and he keeps doing that for like multiple, maybe I say seconds, maybe I was gonna say minutes, and then it comes back. He like looks at the Emperor real quick, then looks back at Luke, and I was like, yes, please, like. But that scene took so long. It was really well done because if it would have been any faster, it wouldn't have been enough tension. I'm like on the edge of my seat. Just fucking stop. So like that shit was really good. I also don't know why he lost that fight. It was kind of weird. I don't know if they didn't know how to end the fight, but he pushes him back on the railing, and then without Luke hitting him or anything, he just falls to his knee on the railing and goes ah, and then Luke starts to whoop his ass.
Yeah.
It just felt weird. I was like, maybe he gave up on purpose though. Maybe he was like, I'm gonna kill this kid if I try all out. So then he
Yeah.
was like, here, you can win. You know.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean,
because
he
he
also
hopped.
gave into his anger a little bit, and that's where he got the strength to beat Vader. And then he realized, I'm not gonna give it all the way, and that's why he didn't kill Vader.
Right. Chopped his arm off. They love that shit. Jedi's, Sith, all of them. They, whew. Um,
They did. They all cut each other's arms off.
yeah, you know, I think what got him actually,
Mm.
because it's a small scene. I guess I almost forgot about it. It's easy to miss. And I didn't take it in my notes, but I remember watching it. Was he looked at his arm after he chopped it off,
Yeah.
and he was like, "Wait, he lost
I
his
have
arm
one.
like me."
Yeah.
Now I guess it's funny that he would have forgotten. Like I forgot that he's the fucker who chopped it off.
Yeah.
You think that would have made you more mad, but it somehow I guess helped them bond and like he lost his
Relate
arm.
to his father.
Right. It's like he's probably shitty and in pain just like I've been.
Hmm.
He's stuck working for the Emperor, so he's like at least very sympathetic for his dad.
Yeah. He doesn't have the best 9 to 5. Uh.
Um,
uh
I'm trying to think if there's any because I definitely like that's like the highlight I think of like toward the end of the movie, second
yeah.
half
That
anyway.
was the beginning of the movie and and the second half of the movie, or
Right,
the beginning of the movie and the end of the movie.
right,
You don't like
beginning,
any of the indoor stuff. I mean, you like some of the funny scenes, but like
right,
not
yeah.
towards like plot. Like the plot wise, it seemed kind of. I don't know what I'm doing with Leia and Han, so they're just gonna go.
Speaking of, what
Huh.
the fuck was going on with that weird soap opera scene after Luke left?
Oh right. Oh man, I hate that scene so much.
I
Just
almost
tell
love
him.
it. It's
I
so
don't.
bad.
I can't tell you what.
Right, it's so
Just
bad.
tell him he's your brother. Soap opera to the max,
Right,
bro.
and then she
Like,
goes, "Hold me." And he walks over.
oh my god. Yeah, no, I don't know what the
love
hell
it.
George Lucas was thinking there.
It was so
Yeah, when
like
people say that fucking sand line, I'm like, God, no, hold on, this movie. I go back and forth.
right. No, that shit was it's just weird. Yeah, just a really weird thing.
Yeah,
we
this
missed
was definitely.
we did miss one thing from the Emperor. The best fucking line I think in like one of all the movies.
Good,
Is he tells
good.
no, not that
You
one.
catch that one? Did you catch that one though?
Which one? When
When
he's
he,
like when he's slicing them up, or
yeah, and
when
he
he's
says,
getting angry for the
good,
friends?
good. He sounds exactly like he did in episode 3. That was really good.
Got you. I was thinking the fucking your overconfidence is your weakness. Your
Oh,
faith
yeah,
in your
faith in
friends
your
is
friends.
yours.
Yeah.
Yo, he didn't like. You could tell that pissed him off, dude. Oh man.
Yeah.
He
Oh,
delivered
man, that
that
was
line
good.
really well.
Yeah.
Cause that fucker, he was pissed, dude. You could tell.
We didn't get to see him in 5, right? We only saw him as like a hologram.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, that shit was fucking good.
Hmm.
Yeah. I just, man, I fucking, it's, fuck. I really do wish we got more Luke because the beginning was such a good hype.
Yeah.
Because he was such a cocky bastard. when he's fucking like coming up, like just trying to take on Jabba, and he kills him too. So like the smug look on his face when he's like on like the fucking what do you call it? La, la, la,
When he's doing the
the
force
plank.
thing.
When he's on the plank, the smug look on his face,
Yeah,
and he's like, "I'll give you one last chance to surrender, or I'll destroy you, or something." He
yeah,
just looks like a dickhead, like Sith Junior.
yeah.
And I'm like, holy, and it's funny because he reminded me a lot of Anakin, and I guess that's because
Yeah.
they probably modeled, Anakin after
Anakin after
him.
that. Yeah.
Um,
Um,
but it's just, I guess continuity wise, watching them this
that's what he
first.
was going for, though. George Lucas, that's what he was trying to go for. Like, look, Anakin might go to the dark side. So, very
Right.
good.
Now, yeah, the fucking everything worked out really well because that shit was good. Because yeah, it's like when you act like that, you're opening up a can of worms. Like you're supposed to be humble. That's like what Jedi's do.
Yeah.
Even if you're the fucking Master Yoda, you should be more relaxed and not look for fights. And he was just throwing his power left and right because he had been stronger, but he hadn't finished his training with Yoda, which we also
Yeah.
skipped in this movie. When did that happen? After he got Han?
What? Finish his training? He never
Yeah,
finished his
because
training.
yeah,
He
'cause he
went
got
back. He went back to Yoda, and Yoda was dying.
right. That's what
And
I meant.
Yoda
Finish his
says,
training, I guess.
Yeah, Yoda said that. Uh, what did he say exactly? I don't remember exactly what he said, but he said basically your training is finished. And
Right.
he said, "So I am a Jedi." He's like, "No, not
Right.
till you face Vader." Damn it, Yoda! That is not the way of the Jedi.
It
You
was
can
a
be a
little
Jedi
weird.
without having to face Vader. Come on.
See, I think though he meant metaphorically.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, I know what he meant. He meant like, oh yeah, not till you like not kill Vader, but like face him and then see what your choice is after.
right, right. You can
Um,
confront the darkness within you and
but
your
they, did,
family, and
but the thing is, even if you read it like that, Yoda did want him to kill Vader.
you think so?
They mentioned it in the last movie.
Oh,
Um, um,
it's not impossible though, because I mean that's kind of what Jedi do. Um, not really, but I guess they're not supposed to on a daily basis. But that's
or
a
this
kind
one when
of
he was talking to Obi-Wan about it, because he said, was it this one or was it the last one where he was talking to Obi-Wan and he said that how why didn't you tell me that Vader was my father? He's like, you wouldn't be able to face him if you knew that. So like, I don't think they wanted him to know. I think they just wanted him to defeat Vader with like the power of the Force.
oh, you think so?
Um,
It's possible,
yeah.
because I mean there's no balance to the Force if
The
him or the
Jedi are
Emperor.
all peaceful and everything,
Um,
except when it comes to like the Sith. They want to destroy the Sith. They even said
right.
that in the prophecy was
Yeah.
that he will bring balance to the Force and destroy the Sith.
Which I always thought was
So
weird because that's not balance.
exactly.
That was always my biggest
Well, I mean, we
shtick.
don't know. We don't know the exact what balance means. Is that okay, like I think the sequel trilogy is trying to go into like, oh, there's two evil and there's two good. And nah, I don't think George Lucas had that in mind, but we don't know. He still hasn't like confirmed exactly what. Actually, he might have confirmed that destroying the Sith was the way, but like Anakin not being a Sith is a way of maintaining the Jedi principles of nonviolence, but still just eradicating the Sith because there's no Sith because he turned a Sith to the good side. Um,
Right.
so the Jedi themselves didn't understand the prophecy, and that's why they were like corrupted by Ultimate Order, in my um, headcanon. And
No,
that's
it's
why they're
possible.
yeah.
I always thought it was actually pretty natural. Not natural, but how do I say it? Like the prophecy to me always it came true.
Yeah.
Because if you look at like, there was no balance in the universe because it was just fucking Jedi everywhere as like policemen of the galaxy.
Yeah.
That's not good. And especially because they're working for the fucking Republic by that point. That's not balance. Neither
Well,
is
this
the
slowly
Sith.
became more police of the Republic. In the first movie, it weren't police of the Republic. They were still kind of just consultants of the Republic, and then they became police of the Republic by the second movie, and then by the third movie, they became all out like military arm of the Republic.
Right. And if you
Um,
look, that's when Anakin took him out.
yeah,
So I think it makes sense that like the balance had been lost of like
yeah.
peace, and then it was like, well, then obviously the balance went way too far in the other direction. But then he's the one who quenched that too.
The
He was
Jedi
the
have
one.
to be not involved in politics or any of that stuff
Well,
in order
right,
for that.
because
And at least like if they're supposed to be like monks and like basically space wizards, they should be not involved. They should be elusive. They should be like not recluse, but like
yeah,
hidden away from the world and only show up to try to like protect people and stuff like random like civilians and citizens and stuff. Shit
right,
like that.
and that makes sense to me, right? And that's kind of the balance. The balance. That's the balance I was thinking of mentally. Is that these are some kind of not god beings, but demigod beings that live out there, and both the light and the dark side could be used equally to bring balance throughout times, but only when it's necessary, right? Like you got
Yeah.
some people who are like fucked up and they're oppressed, and then the dark side comes to them and says, "Hey, use this power, and then go overthrow this shitty government," and then they do, and then they
Yeah.
bring peace, and it's like, so yeah, the dark side helps you do that, and then it's like, well, then the Jedi come help you rebuild,
Yeah.
and it's like they always work together to maintain this
See,
balance.
like
But
in my head, I don't view as like the dark side and the light side as separate powers. I view them as like the dark side is drawing on your. I mean, they even say it in the movies. I don't remember exactly which ones, but I know some of the prequels they mentioned that drawing on the dark side of the on your emotions and stuff like that is using the dark side of the force. And then,
Right.
So they're saying use no negative emotions, which is unnatural. It's not good for you.
right,
And so yeah, but overindulging in that is what leads to there being evil,
right.
not just using dark side powers.
Well, we see that
And,
in our own lives, right? Like human lives with exercise and shit like that.
Yeah,
When you're working out and you're angry, just a little bit angry, just like, man, fuck these weights. I'm gonna
it
lift
helps.
this shit.
It helps.
And it's like you lift more than you could because you're angry at the weights, at your life, or whatever. You've got stress to relieve, and you're stronger than you ever would have been peacefully. But then
Yeah.
if you don't let that go,
Yeah,
you'll go look for a fight.
yeah.
It's like you
But
don't look for
that's
a
what
fight.
I mean. It's like it's all internal. But it projects outwardly to easily show people in the movies, but it's
Right.
all about internal light and darkness and balance.
Right, I agree. That makes
Yeah.
makes the most sense to me anyway.
Yeah.
But
And like I think Luke is like one of the only ones. Like a lot of the Jedi in the prequels aren't balanced because they all repress their emotions, and that's what led Anakin down the dark path because they kept trying to get him to repress his emotions, and he can't because he's an emotional boy.
right.
So,
That's true. And
Yeah.
Luke has dipped into both sides, and that's kind of they play on
exactly.
that a little bit. I think in 7, I'll have to rewatch, but it was
Yeah,
like
the whole Gray Jedi thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
which is not bad, but I think it was poorly executed because I can't remember it being good.
Yeah.
So I have to imagine we'll get there. I guess spoilers, but I have to imagine it's probably not done very well if I can't remember it being good. But then again, I can't remember a lot of shit. So
It's one of the few things I liked about it. So honestly, I think it was fine.
oh cool.
I also played into my own headcanon, so like I can't be like angry about it.
Right.
Um,
Let's see. Let's go back because that's damn near the whole movie we covered. But there's little things in between. We didn't talk about Leia in that slave outfit. Oh baby. Whew.
Craze canceled.
I'm sorry, but look, you could put Hugh Jackman out there in the same outfit. Oh baby, I mean shit.
Nah, take the top off you.
Yes, take the top off you. You do want that, yeah. You definitely want just the waist down. But he had those actually. He had one. He busted out butt ass naked in X2, right?
Yeah.
Fucking thighs hanging out. Look at those quads. Shit, if I can do that to him, I can do that to her.
Okay, that was Photoshop.
No way, that was natural, dude. He was all natural.
They put him in that water tank to make his chest look even bigger.
Hey, shit, we don't talk about that. It would look good.
That chest looked massive. That looked inhuman.
Oh yeah, he had the hair and everything.
I mean, I guess he was a mutant. He wasn't a human, but whatever.
See, there you go. Bro, the fucking poor pig man in the beginning. Oh man.
Yeah, the pig guy.
He just got eaten. But you know what's weird though? They took a time to make a shot where after he killed that giant beast, another dude comes up, like I guess the trainer.
Oh, right. That's an added scene too. That wasn't in the originals.
And he was like crying like his poor baby. I'm like, yo, number one, now I feel a little bit bad, but number two, fuck you. You eat people and train that poor baby to kill people.
Yeah.
That shit was
But that
funny.
poor
Bro.
baby needs to eat people.
I guess it could have fucking eat something. I don't know.
It subsists on a nice, healthy diet of bounty hunters and Jedi.
Oh yeah.
Very hard to come by,
I guess so, right? Yeah.
especially post annihilation of the Jedi.
Bro, they turned fucking R2 into a waiter. That shit was funny. And when 3PO finds him, what are you doing? Yes, I can see that you're serving drinks. So
He just told him, I'm serving drinks.
right, like what does it look like? I'm trying to get these drinks to the customers. Like, no shit, but why? What do you I fucking love it. The best duo in all of movies.
Oh no, R2 is fucking hilarious. Oh my god.
Did you see
They
that
needed-
3PO had 2 gold shins in those scenes?
No, I wasn't looking.
And then by the end of it, he had his 1 silver thing back.
Maybe
during-
maybe it's just the lighting of Tatooine.
Maybe, because during the Ewok thing, he had a silver one. I was like, what?
Because in the first movie, I thought he had all gold until they left Tatooine.
Right. So maybe, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. There's something going on. Like, that fucking... Was the
I
meme?
looked it up. I looked it up the last time we talked about it, and it says that he has the silver one in all the movies.
Really?
Yeah. So
See,
I think it's just the lighting that made the
what's his
silver one
name?
look kind of gold.
You see in fucking
Um.
Always Sunny when Charlie's got the fucking like the shit. And he's like
Yeah.
fucking cracked out looking at the. No man. That's how I feel about him and his fucking shins. I've mentioned it every movie and I can't let it go.
Um, yeah, he has
Uh,
that one in every movie.
just speaking of the thing I almost forgot in the very beginning of the movie. This is something about the movie, but more about like human culture. Why
Yeah,
the fuck, when somebody important shows up somewhere, do you just put hundreds of guys in a row to stand there and watch them walk through the door?
for movies.
For anything, like, the people do it in real life, don't they? Like the king comes by and you have a bunch of
Yeah,
fucking guards.
when like officials, it's just a thing that they like Western culture they did. They would like not parade their army, but because that would imply that they're marching and stuff. They present their army so like it's like a show of strength. Like, oh yeah, I respect you, but look at my army, so I can challenge you if I need to.
Let's see.
Kind of just a whole. It's been around since like medieval times.
Because yeah, I was like, so I picture like some king gets off a boat and right as soon as he gets off the boat, there's like 40 dudes both lined in a
Yeah.
row, just waiting for him to walk past them. I'm like, I don't get it. Is it like for his protection maybe?
No, it's not for protection. It's just like, oh, look, it's a show of force and stuff like that. Oh yeah, well, we're talking about like the emperor, like they're actually subservient to him. It's a moral line of like, showing honor and stuff like that. And,
Let's see, because it's funny, Vader didn't get as many guys. I thought
he's
that
not
was a
the
nice
emperor.
touch. Huh?
He's not the emperor.
No, but it was funny though, because he gets off and
Yeah.
there's like 2 rows of dudes. I said, why does he have those dudes there? Vader can walk himself to the fucking bathroom or like wherever he's going.
Oh, you're talking about that? Okay, I thought you were
In the
talking
very
about
beginning
just,
of the
like,
movie,
having
right?
all the. I thought you were just talking about like all the dudes are just lined up in rows to just to be presented to the emperor while he's coming onto the ship, not
Well,
just
that's
like
what it is. Yeah,
carrying
same
stuff.
thing. So like Vader gets off the ship on the Death Star, and there's
Yeah.
just a bunch of guys standing in formation there, and he just walks past them, and they're not important. They don't talk. They don't
Yeah.
matter. He doesn't even look at them. I'm like, so why are they
Yeah,
there?
it's like an honor. It's like an honor guard. So I had to do it in RTC too.
Oh,
We did this shit for
I
like
see.
practice.
But it was funny because after noticing it, then fucking Emperor shows up, and he had like twice the dudes. I was like, yo.
Yeah, it's like a formality. Just like honestly, the Emperor can fucking protect himself. They're fine. But
Right.
it's yeah. But it's so the peasants know. Oh, that's the big cheese, right?
Right, right. And I figured it might be something that the Emperor would demand because he wants to feel special, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
Because I think about like if you did show up to a place, like let's say Vader shows up or like the Emperor shows up and no one's there. It might feel weird, right? You just get off the ship and it's quiet and no one's there.
yeah.
So I thought maybe like because if you want to present a situation you find weird, present the opposite and you may find the answer. So I was like, it might be a little weird if he was like, but I figure he has his guys with
We only
him.
find it weird because we see it in that he's always has stuff like that, or like in our culture we see that all the time with like big wigs always have like an honor guard and shit like that.
Right, like yeah, like the president,
So,
right? President walks out of the building and there's just
yeah.
like 2 rows of guys with guns just sitting there saluting. I'm like, I don't get it. What does that do for him? He's just walking to the plane. Like, I get the service, right? That makes sense.
Yeah.
But those guys are just to show off. I mean, it never made that much sense. But I'm also like, I don't know. I'm not that kind of guy to ask about like fancy
That's
clothes,
exactly what
fancy
it is, though. It's to
things.
show it off and stuff like that. But it's in case like someone attacks the president, it's not just Secret Service. There's those guys too, ready,
I
right?
guess that makes sense. Yeah, that's true. More dudes is better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of more dudes, why did Boba fly into melee range when he was on the fucking the little
We don't talk
barge?
about it. We don't talk about it.
He was
We
whooping
didn't know how to,
ass.
we
and
didn't
just,
know how to take care of him. Okay, it's okay.
bro. He just flies right in. Whoop! Hey, I'm here, and gets smacked. I'm like, dude, please. You were really cool until just now. Oh
I don't
man.
know what they're. Yeah, they probably were like, oh, he falls into the Sarlacc pit. Yep, there you go. He's dead.
It would have been cool to should have like reflected it, or maybe Han shot him by accident, or like
Yeah.
I don't know. They could have done such ceremonious things, and that was just like stupid. I'm not
He
even a
did.
Han. I'm not even Han. I'm not even a Boba fanboy, and I feel like that he didn't get justice.
I only know one Boba fanboy, and I didn't even know he had fanboys.
Really? I had a
Yeah.
lot of people like that guy when I was a kid. They're
Yeah.
like, he's the coolest.
Yeah.
But I think that's about it, dude. That's pretty. Oh yeah, the shield generator explosion. That they
Yeah.
just casually walk outside and get behind the log. I was like, oh yeah, they'll be safe out there. And then you watch the explosion from space. I said, those fuckers are all dead.
No, the lock saved him.
I genuinely thought they'd be good. I didn't think they put that much explosives in there, but oh no, that shit was fucking massive.
It's a trap.
It's a trap. Oh, that shit was good. I forgot that's where this came from. I knew it was Star Wars, but I didn't remember which
Yeah,
one.
it was. Yeah, it was this movie. It's a trap. The
Dude,
shield
the
generators,
flutes
that's
at the
cool.
end were fucking amazing. I don't know who the fuck was doing those flutes. They need a raise. Oh,
The
baby.
coach. They shouldn't have fucking let the shields down. What were they doing? It's an old code, sir, but it checks out. And then fucking Vader was like, and and they're like, should I let them pass, sir, or should I hold them, sir? No, I'll take care of them. No.
Right. Well, he did it to try and sneak Luke in. I think he was still trying to betray the Emperor.
Well, they at this point the Emperor knew that he was grabbing Luke to turn him to their side.
Oh yeah. Well, then
'Cause
that's
he
the
talked
plan.
to
So
Emperor about
but you
it.
wouldn't tell the goons that, because then they'd ruin the plan.
Maybe.
Because remember, he
Okay.
was like at the end, he said, "Pfft, "You think your friends will blow this shit up or whatever?" And then it was like,
Yeah.
"I've already
We
accounted
already
for
knew.
everything."
Yeah.
And it was like, so he kind of like was stroking his own ego, like, "Yeah, I planned on." Which, to be fair, if you watch the first three, holy fuck, he deserves to stroke the ego. This guy is, I've never seen a mastermind in any movie smarter than him. Like, in all of fiction, I don't think I've seen anybody with the best laid plans like
I
he
don't know.
had.
Dooku's definitely fucking just told that motherfucker's plans to Obi-Wan. And like, if Obi-Wan just believed him a little.
But see, he knew he wouldn't. That's the thing.
Oh my god.
Palpatine planned for that all along,
It's
dude.
fine.
Palpatine knew everything. He plans for everything. This fucker's crazy.
Nothing.
Nah, fuck, I love it.
I find your lack of faith disturbing. Wait, that was a Vader line. I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Right. I do think it was weird though. Like they didn't explain it. Maybe they have a father-son bond. But he was like, the
Right.
Emperor doesn't. He said, he's already there on the moon. I don't sense him. How do you know that? And it was like,
yeah.
that was weird. You knew he'd be on the moon.
Yeah.
That was part of your plan.
Yeah.
So that was that's why I got confused. You were like, oh, but the Emperor knew about it, and I was like, that's where that came from. As I remember, he was like,
Yeah.
Emperor didn't know he was
But
there.
but he talked to the Emperor about turning Luke, so I don't know. That's weird.
That was
yeah.
after Luke had already landed, maybe.
Yeah.
Also,
I don't
Emperor
know.
knew that the rebels would be there. I don't think he knew Luke would be there. Possibly.
Yeah, but but they already had the talk about turning Luke to the dark side.
Yeah, no, that was part of something he wanted to do. But I mean, like in that
Yeah.
individual case,
Yeah.
he may not have known Luke was there, and that was part of
Yeah.
Vader's plan to kind of sneak him in. But then once he realized, well, how do I pick this guy up? Oh, hey, I have Luke. Oh, good, bring him to me.
Yeah.
But he did say earlier, "You'll find the boy and bring him before me."
Yeah.
I don't know, a little bit weird.
Find Anakin's son.
Right.
He is Anakin. All right. Well, he's not. It's a death name. My bad.
Well, the
He's
thing
a
was,
Sith
Vader
Lord
actually
now.
kind of confirmed what we were talking about before.
Yeah.
He was
But
like,
he's only Vader now.
yeah, he was like, he said Anakin Skywalker or something. He was like, that name means nothing to me or some shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh.
He is
So that
now
was pretty
Darth
good.
Vader.
I
I will say, like, I think it was episode 4 where Obi-Wan calls him Darth. Like, he doesn't call him by anything else. He says, Darth killed your father. Like, I don't think he'd already established that the Siths were, like, they changed their names and they call themselves Darth something.
maybe.
Because the Emperor is never, like, given Darth Sidious until the prequels. He's
Right.
just the Emperor.
No, I mean, it's possible.
Yeah.
I liked the Gungans in the end. That was cool.
The Gungans? There was Gungans in them?
Yeah, they were celebrating at the very end when all the flutes were playing.
Oh, right there. Yeah, those. I'm pretty sure those were all added. Because I was like, I
Yeah.
don't remember all these planets being like celebrating. Being in
Right,
the
I
movie.
asked Jameson
But,
about it.
yeah.
I was like, Gungans aren't in the movie. How the fuck would they make a planet for people we'd never seen before? It's possible, but unlikely.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, no, I think it was added in after prequels.
I'm cool with that. I do
Yeah, there's a
think-
lot of stuff. There's some cut stuff that get added back in, and then there's some stuff that was added just for that movie. Like that,
Right.
like the one we were talking about with the singers. That
Right.
scene was there, but they're like, "This is missing something," and they cut it out of the movie, and then they added in those CG characters
Right.
after the prequels, and then put it back in.
You know, I don't think that song she was singing was very good. Maybe that's also why that scene wasn't as good.
Yeah, I didn't like that song either.
It didn't slap nearly as.
I don't know. The song also didn't go well with like what was going with the music in the background. I don't
Right.
know.
I think, yeah, if the song would have been better, I think people would have been less like unhappy with that scene because that's one thing that did
Yeah.
strike me. I was like, I don't want to hear this song anymore.
I would say episode. I would also, it's a very invasive. I don't know what's the word I'm looking for, but intrusive.
Hmm.
Whereas like the all the edits, as much as people still talk shit about them, the edits in 4 and 5 are very unintrusive and are like you can't even. It's very hard to notice unless you watch them back to back.
Right.
The original and then the edited in versions. Like
And a
the
lot of them
edits are
add stuff.
very like just kind of just background stuff. Like there's a when R2's hiding from the Sand People when Luke's going to go look for him in episode 4,
Right.
and Obi-Wan goes, "Come out from hiding." He's behind a rock.
Right.
But in the original, there is no rock. He's just standing in front of a cliff face.
Right. The scene with
He's
Jabba
hiding
was
in the
pretty good.
shade.
They
Yeah.
actually added Jabba. He was tiny, but it was cool to add Jabba.
Yeah, they still had a job, but that was cool.
There's a lot of good
Um,
scenes, yeah, I think overall.
yeah.
The only one I think that didn't like probably would be that song.
Yeah.
And then I think also too, I'm not mad. I'm indifferent, but maybe a little unhappy about the young Anakin in the final scene with the ghost.
Oh, I'm whatever about it. I think it's weird.
Yeah, that's the thing is it's weird. I don't see
Because all the
him
Force
fitting-
ghosts are like what they look like when they died.
Right. That's why it's hard for me to see that. Like,
And I think George Lucas gave he gave a reasoning why he did it.
Right.
And it might have something to do with like, he's in the state of what he was like when he was a Jedi, because Anakin died as a Jedi or whatever. But
I could see
but
that.
I mean,
Maybe
but he
it's-
turned.
it's,
But I don't believe that because what's his name turned him back to the good side by the end, so he should still be
Right.
that. He should still be the old man.
Right, I agree. I think I would have liked it better as the old man. I'm not terribly mad, but it looks weird. That's a
Well,
good way
I
to
guess a
put
lot
it.
of people didn't know who that was because of how much makeup he has on, and he has no hair in the um when he takes the helmet off.
Right.
There's no hair, and there's a bunch of scars, and he has makeup on his face to make himself like to not have eyebrows and all this other stuff.
Right.
So whenever you see the actual actor that is Anakin, he doesn't look anything like the guy who's under the mask.
I could see that.
He also has some really thick eyebrows. The actor that plays Darth Vader,
Right.
or Anakin, whatever. When he's
You know what's
unmasked.
funny? How did Luke know? He was like, "Let's take this mask off." He was like, "Take my mask off." He was like, "But you'll die." How would he know that?
You can't. Nothing can stop that now.
How-
I don't
how
know.
would he
Maybe
have an
maybe it was
access to
maybe there was
information?
a scene with Obi-Wan that was cut, but they never added it back in, and it just because Obi-Wan said he's more machine now than man.
Mhm.
So also he lives in that world or that universe, so maybe he knows because of the way he breathes that he's using a respirator to stay alive.
Possibly, yeah. That if he's familiar with the sort of technology that was keeping him alive.
Yeah.
I just thought maybe, and it makes
So it's
sense.
like it's like if a person in our world sees a person in a wheelchair and you go take my chair, but you can't walk if we take your chair. Like no one needs to be told that they can't walk. He's in a wheelchair, so
I thought maybe it could
similarly-
be interpreted as like protection.
yeah,
But I don't know enough about their technology, so maybe more intuitive to Luke.
yeah.
But yeah, overall, that's pretty much. I think that's the end of my notes. That's how I told you this would be a fast one. There's not much to say.
Yeah, I would say Han. I would say always like Han doesn't really do much in this movie, but he does have like a lot of cool scenes and lines. Like the one
Right.
where he like waves his hands, where he distracts he smacks the fucking dude on the shoulder and then runs away. There's a bunch of soldiers there.
Right.
Um,
Oh, the cool thing there when they got them out of the bunker, it was like, "Yep, we've finished all those guys off. Go ahead and send some backup. We'll chase them off."
I remember that part when fucking Lando fell in the pit, and he's like, "I thought you were blind." No, I can see better now. He's like, "Oh, I'm not gonna trust you to blast that dude with a blaster."
Bro, that fucker was still blind. He at least had fuzzies because he was like, "Oh, I'm getting a little bit of light now." When he was like on the carriage on the way there,
Because we're outside. Oh,
that
That
shit
explains it.
was funny. Oh man. So yeah, that was a good one. Yeah, definitely there was. It's a good.
R2
movie.
pushed C-3PO again, didn't he?
Yeah, he pushed. He was
So-
like, "We gotta go."
So like, what happened in number 2? The same thing when they pushed him into the fucking droid factory.
That shit's so. Come on, man, go! We gotta make it. Fucking R2.
Oh.
He's such a puss in some scenes, and then the next scene, he's like this cocky bastard. I'm like,
He's always a cocky bastard.
Nah, because he was. Is it safe for droids when they're going to the
Safe
fucking
for choice.
when they're going to fucking Dagobah?
Yeah.
And then when the Empire shows up, he said, "We're going, we're going." I know.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
He's like, "The fucking Empire's here. We need to go."
I like to read that more. I was like, come on, let's fucking go already. We're going. We're going.
It's possible, yeah. Either way, R2 and fucking 3PO are best characters.
Oh yeah, Leia. They mentioned that she's gonna be able to use the Force, or like the Force runs strongly in your family. So there's that.
He did tell her, he was like, "Hey, you can do this too. I can't do this. I can't do what you do." So I mean, yeah, it was part of that whole drama scene.
And
but
there's the retcon that she remembers their mother.
I did notice that. I was like, "That's kind of weird."
I was trying to interpret that as like, oh, maybe she saw Force visions of her when she was really young. I don't know.
Right. That's what I figured. Also, too, there may have been more of a bond, and weird, not bond, like a, how do you say it? Like a mental imprint with the Force kind of shit.
Yeah, because I was Anakin, or not Anakin, Luke and Vader have like kind of a Force link that they were like talking to each other.
Right.
Remember? And they could feel each other, but like Darth Vader couldn't really feel Leia like he felt Luke.
Right.
Until he drew that connection through Luke that he had a sister.
Right. And then when she talks about remembering her, she was like, "I just remember this kind or something or whatever."
Yeah.
So she could have been like, I guess, like female to female kind of bonding.
I think they try to retcon it in Obi-Wan, the show. So, not retcon.
Explain more.
Kind of. They try to explain that what she means. So.
Right. Because I mean, I'm cool with that. If it's just something simple like, yeah, her mother and her bonded because they're both women, and then him and him bonded because they're both men on the same path or whatever. Like,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. It's cool enough, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm not too picky as long as something's like a bare bones, you know.
Yeah.
Even when we were mentioning something earlier in this movie, it was okay. Like the what do you call it? The most picky I think I would be is the Ewoks, and I was cool with some of their stuff, but there were times they hit them with what looked like a twig and their arrows, and they just fell over.
The clones always are such a not the clones. The fucking stormtroopers are such a fucking disappointment.
Yep. Except for when you watch the fucking Rex and his buddies. Oh baby. Whew.
But
I
like
gotta go watch that shit.
The shows and the Disney movies that aren't part of the episode trilogy, those really show how like fearsome the fucking Empire was. Well, I don't know about Solo. Solo didn't really.
Right. Definitely Rogue One. Oof.
Rogue One made them look fucking terrifying.
Right. I mean, even though they didn't actually number 5.
I said Mandalorian also
Hoth,
kind of makes them seem kind of like a little more. Nah, take it back. They seem pretty incompetent in Mandalorian as well. There's some scenes, some episodes they seem pretty like good and spot on. Maybe it's like certain planets, like the ones they have fully under their control. They probably send a bunch of retards.
Yeah, that makes sense though, because you need 9 to 5ers, right?
Yeah, and then the ones who are really grizzled are sent out to the ones that they really need to try to like bunker down.
That makes sense. You're gonna send your strongest platoons to like the battles.
Yeah,
because they are just regular dudes now. Well, they're like stolen children, I guess, but they're still just regular people. They've been trained, obviously, but I imagine if you're working
more like
guard
just
duty,
like guards, guard duties.
Yeah, like because you're 30 years old. You've been a guard for like I don't know 12 years since you were 18 after this training, and when you were 18, 20, 22, you were like grizzled and like I'm part of the Empire. I'm fucking brainwashed. But then after living, because they don't see the Emperor, they're just fucking grunts working on a planet. So they probably got a family, kids, and they're just like regular.
Yeah.
And if it's peaceful, which the Empire, I think it's one of those weird things, like they're evil, but they did bring peace to a lot of places because everyone's too scared to revolt. So I imagine they haven't shot their guns in a long time.
That's something I wish the sequels got into. I don't know if the last one does because I didn't watch the last one except for like the first like 20 minutes. But I kind of that's one of the things I would like to see. I think they do get into it in one of the shows that like people who like what's wrong with the Empire? The Empire is great. It. I got a job. I can support my family. I don't have to worry about people fucking killing each other in the streets.
Right, that's true. There's a lot of things that come with it. There's a lot of benefit to the Empire. It's almost like what Luke wanted. Not Luke, Anakin. I mean, yeah, it's peace with an iron fist, but it is peace.
Some people don't mind that. So.
Right. I mean, I think Oh, it just depends, right?
It just shows how like human or how like like that aspect like because that's real. Those people
Right.
do exist, and yeah, like I don't care who the fucking government is as long as I'm fucking safe.
Right. And it just depends, right? Because you're as free as you are if you only want what's in the rules, right?
Yes.
Like if I never wanted cookies, I only just desperately wanted vegetables and regular food, and there was a no cookie rule in this house. I'm free. I'm not. You're not holding me
Yeah,
back. Like,
I'm not oppressed.
yeah, I'm not oppressed. But if you just fucking love cookies and it's like you can't get them here, it's like this is bullshit. We need new leadership, you know.
Yeah.
So really, that's where the grinding blocks come in. Is like what do and don't you want out of life, and are you allowed to do that? And that's most where
Yeah.
governments fall. Is just the majority of people who want one thing or the other.
Yeah. Freedom. Freedom. People want the freedom to make the bad choices in their life, Trey.
Like I don't know. Yeah, this is a whole rant. We're kind of off topic. I guess we're done with Star Wars. We didn't do our ratings. So let's dive back in before we're totally done.
I'm gonna give it a 5.
I'll give it a 6 because I think it is good, and even the parts I don't like aren't bad. Like the Ewok stuff is not.
What did I
bad.
rate Clone Wars?
I
Attack
can't
of the
remember.
Clones.
Probably a
No.
7, 6, 7.
Okay, then
It
I
was
have to rate
6.5.
this one. I'm gonna rate this one whatever I rated Clone Wars, just like 0.01 higher.
I see.
So 6.51.
Right. I'll give it a solid 6, just because of the fact that like it's not. No, that's not fair too. I think I'll make. No, it's I can't get a 7.
Because the only parts it just nothing happened. You put it
Right.
very succinctly when you said nothing happened. Because I'm like,
Right.
yeah, because I remember what did happen. I liked, but there wasn't that much
Right.
that happened.
And that's what's gonna make it not good for a rewatch. Sometimes when I'm trying to discover a rating, I'm like, well, would I rewatch it? That I try and factor that in towards the end. And
You
I
know
think
what we forgot? We forgot one of my favorite quotes.
But
This battle station is fully operational.
it wasn't even fully operational though. It barely destroyed that Star Cruiser. Weak ass battle station. Also, my favorite line, I forgot. My favorite line from like most of all of Star Wars is actually here. He said, "Strike him down." No, strike me down. I think it was like, "Strike me down, and your journey to the dark side will be complete." That's a good line. Like, holy shit.
Because he won even in death.
Right, dude. Palpatine is fucking. Yeah, because imagine he was serious. He
Yeah.
truly believed that if Luke would have sliced him in half, he got him. Because then him and Vader would have kept going.
I gotta give slight, okay, maybe plausible for the third sequel trilogy because of that line that like he's like was confident that he'll come back or something because of the way he said that. Unless he's that devoted, like I said, to the dark side that like even dying as long as he turns a person to the dark side is fine.
Right. Well, we do know that he did study under fucking Plagueis, and
yeah.
Plagueis could live forever, but his live forever was just I can't die naturally, as far as I understand it. Like, because he killed him. Because Sidious actually stabbed him in the back. Because I was reading.
I don't know much about Plagueis. The only thing I know about Plagueis is from the movies.
Oh yeah, I was reading like the books or like I was listening to like an audiobook for it, and Plagueis was like he was working with him for a long time. He was super smart. He didn't even seem like a Sith. But they worked together for a long time. He trained him. He actually told him I think to kill his family because Palpatine's family was shitters.
Yeah.
So Palpatine killed his family, went off with Plagueis for a while, studied, and then he had him infiltrate into the Senate, and they were all doing that together. But Plagueis was in charge. But he stabbed him in the back because he trusted him. That was the thing. He trusted. He also, I think he was like, you can never sleep, or some shit. Plagueis didn't sleep, or he did at one point, and that's when he got him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he could live forever, but he couldn't live forever if he died. But he did have access to something. That's a weird way to say that. That sounded dumb.
I was like, yes, that's what dying means.
He got stabbed in the chest, I think, or stabbed him from the back anyway.
Yeah.
Well, no, he kept him there silent. I think he didn't kill. How did he do it? Anyway, someone in the comments will know. They'll read this, or maybe we'll go over those books eventually. Who knows? But at some point, he was like held there silent and was like talking shit to Plagueis while he was killing him. As the last breath, he did. It was like one of those things books do, right? As the breath gasping, he does something, and super dramatic on the guy just sitting there breathing.
As he gasped his final breath.
Right, shit like that. But anyway, so yeah, I think he did have immortality powers in some sense.
Okay.
And then we've seen that the Force ghosts, so there is some sort of life magic that
Yeah.
comes with the Force, and there's no short amount of like, I think, what's the word? Possibility. Like it could
Yeah.
happen. There's no short amount of evidence to say it could happen that
Yeah.
that Sidious had clones or he had, a way to come back.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not totally, out on that idea, but I don't
Yeah.
like it as much, I think, as him just genuinely being that committed.
Yes.
Also, I
I
think
like
he
him
probably
being
would have
generally
stopped him.
completely
He
committed.
probably would have just
Yeah.
put the blade up and got it last second.
Yeah.
Because we know he keeps the little ka-chink, and he comes from his cloak.
Yeah.
That he had in number
I
3.
think he would have been fine with that. I'm just gonna read that into it because of how it just makes him seem even more sadistic, or not
Right.
sadistic, but like sinister. That like
Right.
I don't care if I die. You're turning to the dark side because you killed me.
Right. Now, that's kind of good. I do like that a lot. It makes his character
Also,
much better.
it plays into my fucking Joker love. So because the Joker just wants to corrupt Batman, and so,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
I want you
like
to kill me.
it.
Come on, do it.
Do it. That shit was funny. But yeah, I'll give it a 6. I have to.
Yeah.
That's not fair. I think the story and the characters deserve like an 8.
Yeah.
The story, the characters, and the conclusion all deserve an 8. But I think the movie, the theatrical experience, as it were,
Yeah.
deserves more of a 6.
Okay.
I don't know. That's not a good rating. I guess you're supposed to be concise, but it's better to explain it that way.
I'm gonna give it a temporary 6.51.
Right.
Subject to change. We'll probably give all the ratings of all our Star Wars things to like at the end of the shit. I'll just
We'll
go back
have to
and
go
look
rewatch them, I guess, because I don't remember shit.
No, I'll just go back and grab all our ratings from all the
Got
previous
you.
ones and just put
'Cause,
them.
yeah, I never remember. And I'll change them too. I'll change tomorrow. You ask me some shit tomorrow, you're getting a totally different rating. So like by the end of like the 6th movie, oh yeah.
No, you're not supposed to tell them that. We're gonna do a rewatch of our own podcast, and then we're gonna.
Bro, could you imagine? We're doing an anniversary where we watch all of us just. It'd be kind of funny though. I think I might watch.
We just
that.
drink. We just drink. Do it live, and
Right. It's just like a year's anniversary, so we're celebrating our year of a podcast, and we go through and like we just drink and watch our old shit. And go,
we just do
what?
it and like we'll do it at 3 times speed.
Right. It's like I was onto something there. That could be pretty funny actually, because I say some wild shit. Especially if I've been drinking. I haven't. To all you fans, I haven't been drinking for like the last very long time. So I've been a little bit more dry, but I think I've been more consistent. And my buddy was telling me that I was a real piece of shit during One Punch, and I don't think I apologized to you guys for that. Not to you One Punch fans. You guys are
So
still
I
fucking
cut out
obnoxious.
most of it. I think James is just soft.
Maybe he's soft. But a lot of people are soft. So I'm not apologizing to One Punch fans for your obnoxiousness and how you think it's the greatest show ever made, and it's not. But I will apologize if I did say anything rude. Because I stand by my opinions.
Super pretentious.
I was also being super pretentious, I heard, and that's not me, but it is me, kind of. I don't like to be that guy, because artsy-fartsy fucks are annoying. And
I tend to be really pretentious, and I try to catch myself, and I'm like, yo, stop being a dickhead.
That's the idea, right? Because we could get out here, and it's like, well, we know storytelling and this, and it's like, yeah, maybe we do, but just because we do doesn't mean we can be assholes about it.
Just because someone goes, I'm sorry, was that not where you were going with that?
Oh, just because someone goes, this sucks, doesn't mean they're pretentious. Oh, that's funny. We gotta do actually. You know what? Quick, 30-second, brand new episode. Go watch Kung Pao Enter the Fist. It's on YouTube free and it's fucking amazing. 10 out of 10.
Yes.
10 out of 10. Go watch Kung Pao Enter the Fist. But
It has a turn your brain off, and it's a 10 out of 10.
Yes, I fucking love
fun.
it.
Go have fun. Go. If you're of age, go have some drinks. It's actually you don't even need drinks. That's just fucking hilarious.
I watched that movie when I was fucking 12. My uncle had it on DVD. That shit was amazing.
We rented that shit thinking it was like a legit kung fu movie, and it was fucking the dumbest fucking movie.
You're expecting Enter the Dragon, and you get home and it's that shit.
I mean, we weren't disappointed. It was hilarious.
No, but your first 5 minutes with the baby, like, what the fuck is this?
I'm not died. I literally fucking spat my drink out. I was like, I don't know, 10, and I fucking when the lady fucking sees the baby rolling down the mountain, she's like, oh, and it's like fucking waddles it for a second or whatever the fuck, or sways back and forth with it, and then she put it back down the mountain. All right, bye bye.
Oh my god! Yeah, you guys got literally. I'm not making this up. Like, genuinely, I would pay you money. Like, this is not one of those, oh, it's really good, trust me. No, like, this is not One Punch. It's not JoJo's. This is not fucking Hunter x Hunter. You're not going to be... This is literally, like, the best recommendation of a fucking great comedy. Especially if you don't like Kung Fu movies, it's not for you, I will say. It's still good, but if you don't have any of, like, the references, it's going to be less funny. So if you don't like Kung Fu movies, you're going to go watch it and go, that wasn't nearly as good as they told me. But if you like that kind of shit, oh, you're gonna fucking love it. But that's been our new episode. We'll cut that and put it as like a fucking YouTube short or something.
Alright.
But anyway, love you dudes. Like and subscribe. Give us all your money.
Touch all the buttons. Do the things. Give
actually
Trey
do
all your money so that he watches your favorite show and you can talk shit
that's
about
fucked
it.
up. Don't do that. They might try that. There is no guarantee I will watch your favorite show and bitch about it if you donate a bunch of money, but it is more likely because I'd feel
That
bad.
is true.
Not because I want it, because I'd like, God damn it, they put money here. Now I feel bad.
Now you have to do it.
Honestly, kind of. If we ever do become super popular, that is kind of how that works, right?
Yeah.
We do like a poll, and all the fans are like, "We want to see this." It's like, fuck. Now I got to do that.
Yeah.
But that's cool. You know, that's part of the experience because I may learn some shit that I liked that I was being a hater on. So who knows? But yeah, take care as always. Be open-minded. Watch film, and don't just watch a bunch of people who criticize and hate everything. And think for yourself.
I like thinking for myself. It's fun.
Right? Peace.
Peace.